Liverpool, they beat Tottenham 6-3. But here's the thing, the wider question is this, and this is for Simon, and this is for Martin, and this is for you out there. Is anyone looking close to dethroning Liverpool in 2025? Are Slot's side becoming more emphatic as the season goes on? Simon, I want to go on to the topic of Salah, Trent and Van Dijk very shortly, because those three are able and allowed to speak to clubs outside of England, like in less than 7 days, a week away from it. So I would have thought there are jitters abounding regards that. But my first question, is anyone close to dethroning Liverpool?
No, I don't think they are. I mean, I think Liverpool have picked up a significant momentum now in everything that they're doing, not just in the league. They're phenomenal in the Champions League. They're in the semi-finals of the League Cup, so everything at this moment in time is on the front foot. A lot of that credit must go back to Jurgen Klopp for the team that Slot inherited, because they didn't buy any new players. The culture of the club is obviously right, and they've caught a perfect wave, haven't they? The other teams aren't performing at the level we thought they would. Arsenal haven't performed at the level that I anticipated they would. Man City have dropped off a cliff. Man United are a joke. And the only ones that are knocking on the door are Chelsea. So they've caught this perfect wave of, and now they've got this self-fulfilling prophecy. They're going into every game. Teams are fearful of them. They've got a forward line. Everyone's fit. They've got a forward line that's to be terrified of. Yeah. Whoever you take off and put on, with the exception of probably Darwin Núñez at some time, is clinical and dangerous. And so I think it's Liverpool's to lose. They're 9 points. If they win their game in hand, they're 9 points clear of Arsenal.
Yeah.
I know that Martin has a view on Chelsea and whether they can legitimately say they're not contenders. But I think Liverpool at this moment in time have done everything right. The manager's come in, hasn't changed that much. He's taken some of the edge off the fanaticism that was Klopp's trademark. But you've got a great group of players playing at a high level. And I don't even think the sideshow of Salah and Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to distract them. That will take care of itself. Liverpool will take care of the situations. Alexander-Arnold will do whatever he's going to do. And that's the one that I think they can't control. But I think they can control Salah, and I think they can control Virgil van Dijk.
But that conversation about those three will continue, though.
It will.
And louder in January if it's not sorted.
But is it distracting Liverpool?
No, it's not. No, it's not at the moment.
Someone's making them better, isn't it, at the moment?
Are you declaring today, Martin, that, no one will dethrone them? It's their title.
But we're saying at the halfway mark, they're far and away the best team we've seen this season. There's no. Yesterday underlined that. Just defensively, really strong. I know they conceded 3 goals yesterday, but that's down to Spurs actually created some really good opportunities and scored. Didn't have many chances, but 24 chances I think they created against Spurs yesterday. They give your opponent no time on the ball. There's an energy in their midfield where they get up to the ball. I like the way that they make changes to their midfield dependent on their opponent. I'm looking at the front three yesterday. Gakpo, Diaz, Salah. Salah, Jim, there was one little moment of skill where he goes to a new level. I think his game's getting even better. He's 32 years of age. He drags the ball from his left foot to his right foot, gets a shot off, hits the bar. And you're like, well, how's that happened? Some of the best defenders in the world couldn't even get near that. So, they are getting ever better. The 3 players, Jim, involved in their new contracts, you look at them and you say, well, okay, 26 years old, Trent. He's a player that he's a wonderful talent. You saw yesterday the cross he put in for the goal that Diaz scored. He's got a great vision. The other 2, we're 32 years of age, Salah, and 33, Van Dijk. I still think that they're worthy of minimum of a 2-year contract, possibly 3 years. Now, Salah would be my biggest concern, but I will look at Lewandowski still banging goals for Barcelona at 36 years of age, which would be the age he'd be at if he was given a 3-year contract. 18 games this season he's played and he scored 16 goals. I think Salah is in that kind of area where he really looks after himself. He's a modern day player. Whether Trent wants to stay or not is probably the biggest talking point. The other 2 would love to stay.
Well, I think that's a great point. So on Trent, should local pride and boyhood loyalty come before anything else for footballers? Jimmy Carragher's been talking about Trent, and he says the big question that faces Trent is how much he values his legacy as a Liverpool great and how he wants to be remembered in the many years that follow the short career of a pro footballer. And it's interesting, Martin, he then says, if you wanted to break it down to its essential question, you might say, does Trent want to be Steven Gerrard Or does he want to be Steve McManaman? McManaman, of course, who left for Real Madrid.
Well, I understand the comparison, but I look at Trent, who's achieved everything, hasn't he? Unlike Gerrard and McManaman, this guy's won every single football trophy you can win. Super Cup, World Club Tournament trophy, Champions League, Premier League, possibly going to do another one. He's 26 years of age. He may have a greater ambition. He may feel that he wants to go and play for a Real Madrid and take it to another level. He's still going to walk the streets of Liverpool with a great deal of pride when he finishes. And it is, yes, a short career. We're all different. We can't get into the head of every individual. But that is the worry, really, Trent, because you want that. You want to see a player that comes through the ranks, stay there, embrace the club and stay with the club. And really all his needs should be met there, shouldn't they? Liverpool can do everything in Europe, in the world football, you name it. But he might be ambitious. So let's see how that one runs. But it's not ideal, all three players, but it's certainly not affecting their form. I'd have to say those three are probably Liverpool's best three players right now. Yeah. And it's a difficult contest.
Nothing lasts forever, does it? I mean, Keegan left Liverpool to go to Hamburg. Souness left Liverpool to go to Sampdoria. Ian Rush left Liverpool to go to Milan.
And came back.
Juventus. And came back. I mean, the fact of the matter is Trent Alexander-Arnold will have, as Martin alludes to, have achieved a remarkable amount at Liverpool. And if Madrid represents the holy grail, which it does for so many players, whether we like it or we don't, it does, then I would suspect that leaving Liverpool will be something he does. But I don't think it will diminish. It didn't diminish Souness, did it? Souness is still regarded as a Liverpool legend. It didn't diminish Ian Rush. I mean, he came back, and I get that.
McManaman's the same.
McManaman's the same. I mean, when Madrid comes calling, whether we like it or we don't, and we like to talk about our clubs in the most glowing of fashion of being the biggest club in the world, Real Madrid are probably marginally the biggest club in the world now. If United got their engines going again, commercially they'll be bigger or as big as Real Madrid. On the field, they're a joke right now, United. Yeah. But the bottom line is I think Trent Alexander. I mean, I can't bear this idea that we have to keep listening to this load of old cobblers about how short the career is, because ultimately no one has a long career in any profession in this day and age. And if you can play for 15 years, which is probably what Trent Alexander-Arnold will be able to do, and get the economic benefits out of it, then A, it's not a short career, and B, it can bloody well afford to be.
He was a part, wasn't he, Alexander? Trent Alexander. I can't say his name. He was a part of a team that it was a 30-year drought. Let's not forget, for Liverpool to win the Premier League. He's done that. He's accomplished it.
Right.
He may feel now that he wants to go.
And they just about hung on to Steven Gerrard, with all due respect, because with a few peculiarities, he might have been out the Liverpool door as well if he'd have got potentially his way.
Carragher talking about, do you want to be Steven Gerrard or do you want to be known as Steve McManaman? I mean, you mentioned Souness, Simon, but he's not a Liverpool lad. He's not one of their own. Trent is. And Carragher says when he comes back to Anfield now as a fan or a pundit, this is McManaman, he doesn't get the love from the Liverpool fans that's shown towards our teammate Robbie Fowler.
But that's a load of old sentimental BS, isn't it? I mean, you've got a career, you've got a life. I mean, you can't live about how you feel about someone feels about you. Trent Alexander-Arnold played for Liverpool, gave his all, did very well, and took another opportunity. And you're this silly sentimental nonsense of
no, Carragher. Look, I'd be doing the same. I'd want, if this happens to an Arsenal player in a few years' time, I'd be fighting to keep that player there. That's just how he is. He wants the same thing. He's an amazing talent. He doesn't want to lose him. The academy points to him, don't they, and say, "Wow, what a wonderful talent! He's getting in despite all these stars that come to the football club. One of our own is probably the best of our own."
Yeah. Liverpool flying at this time, though, that is for sure. And sure, settling the situation with Salah, with Trent, and with Van Dijk is yet to be done. But that certainly doesn't seem to be in any way looking as if it's going to derail this incredible machine that's up and running, the slot machine.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.